I guarantee this didn't happen in the 50s and 60s. It started a trend, and everybody coddles everyone, and I always make the comparison. Before I even watched NASCAR, years ago, I'd make this comparison. NASCAR drivers who can actually die in their sport, do interviews in the car. And you're telling me a starting pitcher, oh, no, I can't talk today.
I like where you're going, Charlie.
Oh, I can't talk today. It's too big of a deal for me to throw 4 2/3 innings.
Get 'em.
Allow 4 runs.
Get 'em.
Shut up.
There you
That
go.
is the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever. It started 20 years ago. Everybody followed it.
There you go,
It is
Charlie.
dumb.
It didn't start. It started.
Nate's back on the show.
There you
It
go.
started.
No, that's 100% true.
It started with Walter Johnson, the
Yes.
Big Train, back in 1917. I don't even know if that was his era, but I like his nickname,
year.
the Big Train. But I will say this. If you're a starting pitcher, they live by their routine. So right or wrong, you have a routine. If you've had some success, then you are married to that routine, right? And if part of that routine is, look, I'm going to have a chicken breast and a bowl of Fruit Loops or whatever it is, as my pregame meal, and I don't talk to anyone because I want to focus. If that works for you, that's great.
Then you got to do it. I get you.
Was it Jaime Garcia who would freak out if his routine was even slightly off?
Yes. If he didn't get
Jamie?
good room service the night before for dinner, it would mess with his routine.
And Tony and Dunk like to mention that as well in the media.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Jaime today, his Uber showed up late, so.
Go ahead.
It's sad. Jaime Garcia had nasty stuff.
Dude, he's one of those guys where every time you look him up,
Pretty
he
good.
was way better than you thought and made way more money than you thought. We looked this up. It's about, I want to say, 50 to 70 million.
Whoa.
And his numbers, he had some really good seasons.
Really good. His curveball was filthy. I mean, he had really good stuff. I think it was he was never able to take it to the next level. And if memory serves, when they needed a big start, sometimes it didn't happen.
Remember he almost had a no-hitter on a Friday night? I remember being at Fox 2 working, and they sent me down to Busch because Jaime had a no-hitter through about 7. And then as I'm driving down, he gives it
Boom.
up. But still, he was nasty.
And you were happy because you got to turn right around.
Turn right around and get the hell out of there.
I'd go down there and get a hot dog or two. Hey, what do we got? Some numbers there? Coltrane?
In 2015, now he didn't play the whole year. He only had 20 starts, but he did have a 2.43 ERA, which is darn good.
Can we guess? Let's guess. Can we guess? I'm gonna close my laptop. Can we guess career ERA, career win-loss,
Are we talking about just with the Cardinals or in total?
total, and also career earnings?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna guess.
All right, guess the ERA first.
I'm gonna say his career ERA was 3.5. I'm gonna say his career win-loss. I bet you played about 12 seasons.
I'll give you this.
Well, hold on. We're all gonna guess.
132 decisions.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it was actually pretty good. I'm gonna say like 70 and 60, and I'm gonna say he made $60 million.
Dang.
I'm going to say his career ERA was in my head before he even guessed 3.47. I'm going to say 64 and 41. And I'm going to say his career earnings were $38 million.
Cam, you got guesses?
Man, no.
All right, ERA was 3.85.
Okay.
Now with the Cardinals, it was 3.57.
Pretty good.
So that's all right. Charlie, you almost got it perfectly. It was 70 and 62.
Oh, wow.
And for career earnings, as I scroll, I forget what you guys even said, but it was 60 mil
60 million.
for his career.
That's what I
Not
said.
bad.
I think I said 38
But we looked this up about 3 months ago.
Now, who are the 3 players that you got from Atlanta in that trade? One of them.
Hold on.
One of them never made it to the big leagues.
One of them was a good
Son of a
pitcher,
son of a great businessman.
but one of them was the good pitcher that was a starter 2 years ago for the first half of the season. Not Ponce de Leon. Oh, Gant.
John Gant.
John Gant was definitely in that deal. He was the only one that turned out, correct?
Yeah. I mean, Chris Ellis never played for you. And then son of Lenny, Luke Dykstra.
Oh, Lukey
really?
Dykstra.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
Not Cutter.
He never made it to the big leagues.
Never to the big
I don't
leagues.
think he ever made it to the big leagues. And
Lenny
Never made it to AAA.
Cutter's married to Meadow Soprano.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can we look
what's her
that
name?
up? Cutter Dykstra, I believe, is married to Jamie Lynn Siegler.
God, if he's anything like his dad, I feel bad for her. He messages me once in a while. Lenny Dykstra.
Nails?
Nails. He's crazy on Twitter.
Yes, he is.
Good God. What do you
I was just
Go
going to say,
ahead,
married in 2016.
I think he's younger than her.
I wonder if he's normal. Somebody chimed in about the XFL. The XFL is a joke. They only carry the city name for each team. The watch party the Battlehawks held to see if they would make the playoffs was held in Texas. They do absolutely nothing for the community or flaunt the city name. Mad Marine.
I think that's fair criticism, actually. But I also think, look, they wanted to restart this league. They wanted to build it up. And I understand economically how it's less expensive to do it that way.
Yeah.
But by the same token, you're never going to get entrenched in your community. You're going to have to move to the cities. But I thought, all right, first year, let them get through that. But you got to build toward having a presence in your home city, or it's not really your home city.
I know. You got to figure out only having like 6,200 people coming to a game in Vegas.
It's also second-tier professional football, and everybody loves college football. How much football can you watch? I love the NFL,
right.
don't get me wrong.
Charlie, you're right.
And I love college football. I actually like college football more than the NFL just because I'm an Ohio State fan. But my point is, people love the NFL, people love college. This is second-tier football. It's always going to be very difficult to succeed.
I feel like football is on pretty much every day now.
I consider it, for my area, which is St. Louis, for my home, it's top-tier professional football because it's the best professional football we have.
But
I'm going to support.
There's only certain college teams I want to watch, though. Like if there's any NFL team on, you're kicking your feet up, you're, drinking a beer and watching it.
But Mizzou, I'm saying, like for example,
I'd watch Mizzou every week.
I'm going to watch Mizzou
every weekend.
I'm not, all due respect, and I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to watch every XFL game.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Jimmy and I will, though. And we'll message each other.
I'll watch the Battlehawks. That might be it for the XFL.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're not watching the San Diego
You're not watching the
Alamos?
Fleet?
I'm not.
San Diego
the
Alamos?
Commanders.
Being totally honest, I'm
Guardians.
not. I am not.
The Guardians.
Bring back the Lingerie Football League, baby. The all-knowing expert.
There we go.
What happened to that? Who owns that? Somebody.
I think that was Strick. I think
Strickland owns it?
Yeah.
Figured that.
Andy owns
I
it.
think Randy Markell.
Randy Markell.
That is Andy Strickland.
Hey guys! I just got swabbed.
He cannot
That is
turn.
a match made in heaven if we've ever seen one.
How does Randy say, hey, buddy? What does he say?
buddy. What-
Hey, hey, buddy.
You shut up in your mouth.
John. By the end of it, John was crazy on the radio, man. He was crazy. Dang.
I actually did enjoy
He was funny.
when John would make fun of millennials.
Oh, God.
Even though I didn't agree with it,
Pretty funny.
it was very funny. By the way,
was.
you know who's really funny talking about the Cardinals? And he knows this stuff.
Burn Dog.
Bernie is so funny when he
Yeah.
goes after DeWitt and Mozeliak, and especially, and I love Tyler O'Neill, but he calls them muscles. And whenever
That is fun.
Yeah.
by the way, I'm rooting for Tyler O'Neill.
He is muscle.
But there's this long-running joke about Tyler O'Neill always getting injured. So if he's not playing, Bernie will say, well, I don't know if he, did he open the car door and all of a sudden pull a shoulder? It's very funny.
Yeah, dude.
Very
He's witty.
My favorite joke of Bernie's was last year when he said T.J. McFarland went on the IL with an inflamed ERA.
Yeah, not false.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, go ahead.
With Tyler, I do think it's worth getting out there because when things don't go as it's been stated they will go, everyone's like, what's going on there? So they said Tyler O'Neill would be activated before yesterday's game. Mozeliak said it, Marmol said it. So, all right, they're going to activate him. We're not activating him. Well, there's a bullpen game tomorrow, which is today now. Okay, but didn't you know we had a bullpen game? Like you're all saying they're going to activate. They want to keep a little roster flexibility with pitchers because you never know how a bullpen start is going to go. So the plan now is that Tyler O'Neill will be activated. He'll go on the road trip, and he'll be activated before tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
play-
we'll see what he's got.
And then play left field for 2 weeks. Hello?
No, yeah, I agree.
No, you looked around like
Yeah, you looked around
he
like,
could be,
You wanted to,
he could be playing left field for another team, but he'll still
Yeah.
be a left fielder.
Right.
Probably.
I think he's going to be good for another team. And I know we'll all complain, but I really don't think we should. I think he'll be good somewhere else. I think another change of scenery would be good. He obviously needs to stay healthy. I could see him being pretty dang good for another team, but we can't we can't do revisionist history on this one because he had every opportunity. It also just, like, let's be honest about this year with him and Ollie and the organization. Come on now.
What do you mean?
He just needs to go somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with it. That happens all the time. Look what happened with Genesis Cabrera. It wasn't just performance. He didn't like his role.
Yeah.
Sometimes a change of scenery is good for a player. And sometimes it doesn't work here, but it can work elsewhere. And that happens with other players. They're elsewhere, they're not as good. They come to St. Louis, they get with a coach, they're feeling better, different ballpark, and it just works. No, it's true. Happens all the time.
Well, actually, I went out to Marina Del Rey, and I got a second opinion on my back.
That's
That
good
was
timing,
Nate
too.
Lucas.
I've
That was
said
good
it all
timing,
along.
Cole.
I think Tyler O'Neill is a good player and will be again. But I agree, probably run its course here. But Tyler O'Neill, and I still think he has value. I'm not saying you're going to get a great starting pitcher straight up for him, but I think there's teams that value what he can be. But he does have to stay healthy. I mean, he hadn't played a game since May 5th. I mean, he had a back issue, and you haven't seen him since he went on the IL.
Cinco de Mayo blew out his
But
back.
also, if you're Mo and you have all these other outfielders that are all-stars and everything, and you have to trade some of your outfielders now, Tyler O'Neill makes the most sense because he has value, in my opinion, because I think he's looked at as a good player, if healthy. Put that on there. But then you have plausible deniability where if he does blossom with another team, you go, what are we supposed to do? He was hurt all the time.
So here's a good example. Now, this is not apples for apples, but we all do this. Everybody, every fan base across baseball and sports, we all get tired of our guy that is good but is super injured. We always want to get rid of that guy. Yet when there's another player on another team who's the same guy, in the offseason, we go, man, but there's a lot of upside if he's healthy. Now, I'm not saying Tyler O'Neill is as good as Cody Bellinger, but Cody Bellinger was an MVP. This offseason, we had this debate 5 million times on the radio. Everybody in St. Louis wanted him as a high-risk, high-reward, but one-year deal, but a lot of money, but a lot of... $10
million, right?
No, he made like 20.
Was it 20? I thought it was...
I'll go double check.
He made about 20-ish, 18 to 20, whatever it was. But my point is, and he's having a great year. But you always want to get rid of that guy when he's your guy. But if somebody else has if there's a Tyler O'Neill on another team, we all go, oh, man, if he was just healthy. There are other teams that would love to grab Tyler O'Neill for the next year and a half and bank on him being healthy.
And the difference with Bellinger is that Bellinger was injured, but also wasn't good. Like, fell off the earth because that shoulder affected his swing, where it was like kind of a Matt Carpenter drop-off. Now, part of it was due to his physical ailments, but I remember having the debate with Nate. I was like, and it's worked out. So in hindsight, he was right, at least to this point. His numbers are pretty good, not monster numbers, but good.
They're dang good.
But do you want to bring in another guy who's injury-prone? And we got Tyler O'Neill, who's injury-prone. I didn't think it made sense.
12.5
million?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that
12 and a half?
bargain.
For this year.
For Cody Bellinger.
Yep. $5 million buyout for next year.
Yeah,
So it could.
that's 17 and a half.
Okay. Well, or they could agree to.
No, the buyout's $5 million. You have to pay the buyout.
Oh, I was talking about year for year. So it'd be 12.5 this year, 5 next year.
Well, no, but he's guaranteed $17.5 million overall for one season. He's guaranteed that.
Yes, sure.
That's pretty good. He's
Pretty
got
dang good.
a 2.5 WAR. He's OPS plus 138. I think that would be the best player on the Cardinals.
Charlie,
Yes.
do you need two fundamental starting? Do you need two foundational starting pitchers to compete, i.e., Carp, Wayne now? Then can supplement with guys like Michaelis, Matz, a third and a fourth young starters from the minors to fill out the innings. Can they realistically fill those holes without breaking the bank and or pipeline? 314 wants to know. Put a name in, please.
I put a tweet out.
We'll hook you up.
A lot of people got mad at me. It's fine. But I think the Cardinals need two front-end starters, and I like Miles Michaelis, but I think they should have two starters that are better than Miles Michaelis on paper. I know you don't have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I threw it out there. I think in 2024, if Michaelis is your 3, the people got really mad about Matz. I put Matz as the fourth. And I put a million guys as the fifth because they have the Liberators and the Hudsons and the Woodfords and the McGreeveys and the Thompsons of the world. People were all mad about Matz. Do you really think the Cardinals are not going to give Steven Matz another shot next year to be a starter?
Of course they will.
Of course they will. And that's my point. You can be mad at me or the Cardinals, but you know the Cardinals are going to give him a shot. I think it's going to be hard to get 2 frontline starters. Some people are like, no, they need 3. Okay, I'll go ahead and agree with you.
Wait,
Do you know how hard that is?
People think they're going to get 3?
This market?
Well,
Come on.
if the fifth guy, let's say the fifth guy's Lance Lynn, I can buy that. If you get Lance Lynn on a 1-year deal for $14 million, but then still you have to get, and I'm just throwing names out, you still have to sign, let's say, Aaron Nola and trade for Logan Gilbert. That's asking a lot.
Front page of
And
sports.
it's easy also. Let me just say this. It's easy to say, well, we have to have 3 aces. No, you really don't. I understand that you say, well, to match up with this particular team, to get to the World Series or win a World Series, you have to have it. Most teams have 2 or 3 good starters. If you have 3 good starters, you're considered a very good rotation. Mm-hmm. So to me, Miles Mikolas, to me, he's a 1-2. Like, yes, you could do better as a 1, but if you get like a number 1 starter and Mikolas and a 3, something like that, I think you're going to be okay, and your rotation will match up pretty well with most teams. Now, well, that's not guaranteeing a World Series. Well, you can go out and sign every big-name starter. You can. That doesn't mean you're going to win it either. You have to kind of balance things.
And you and I, this is not going to be this huge disagreement, but I think if Miles Mikolas is your number 3 starter in a playoff series, you feel pretty dang good.
Damn right.
I like Miles Mikolas, but if he can be your 3, I think you're feeling really good about your rotation.
Let's say you have an ace, whoever it is, just nameless ace. He's an ace, and Miles is your number 2.
I don't love that.
I'm very comfortable with Miles having to win in a playoff situation, a game.
Here's why we'll bring up this exact example. And this is why last year I don't think it should have surprised anyone that the Cardinals lost the first 2 games to the Phillies, even though the first game there was craziness with Ryan Helsley. On paper, if you saw Zach Wheeler versus Quintana and Aaron Nola versus Miles Mikolas, on paper, you would bet on the Phillies, just based on the starting pitching matchups. Wouldn't you?
I don't think
Wheeler and Nola versus Quintana and Miles Mikolas?
Yeah.
Quintana down the stretch was their hottest pitcher. I'm just saying.
And they took him out after 5 innings. That's the confidence they had in him also.
I'm just saying, yeah, I would say you're right, but I don't think it's a huge margin based on the fact of how good Quintana was. Wasn't
Versus
going
Wheeler?
Deep enough. Quintana's numbers down the stretch were really good. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not like you're a huge underdog because Quintana had been pitching really well.
You also managed Quintana. They had him throw on average 86 pitches. They didn't let him go through the 3rd time. I'm not trying to hate on Quintana, but clearly the guy was rolling in game 1, and you pulled him at, 75 pitches or so and 5 1/3 inning? You don't do that to an ace. If Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola are dealing, you let him go 8.
Let him do the thing, though. Cam, you want to get an ace that wouldn't cost a lot this winter? Trevor Bauer. Take the PR hit to win 15 games. How's he doing in Japan?
I'll check up on his stats.
Let's check that mug out. Would I take him? Hell yeah.
At this point, I mean, 2 months ago, he made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Once you're really bad, you're like, I don't like what this guy does off the field. Oh, we're 12 games under. Well, God, he can pitch.
Do you think we could package Tyler O'Neill and a rights holder regional cable journalist to bring in a Joel Goldberg type? Wombat wants to know.
That was kind of funny.
Jimmy is Tyler O'Neill's number 1 fan.
I like Tyler O'Neill.
I do too, man.
I'm
He
just
was
saying,
awesome.
needs
He's
to go
a nice
somewhere else.
dude.
Listen, I'm just telling you. I said at the beginning I'd buy stock. I believe that this guy has a unique skill set. I think his bat, when he's healthy, is really quick. I think he can run the bases. It's a rare combination. But he's never healthy, so you don't get to see it. I get that.
Guaranteed Muscles Home is packed up, ready to go. Just need to know when to call the movers. Sharon, she's feisty today.
I think he would welcome a change in scenery.
Of
And I
course.
agree with Charlie. It happens all the time. A change of scenery sometimes changes your luck. Just a fresh start. It happens.
Look at Nolan Arenado. At the end, he didn't want to be in Colorado. Our guy Matt Holliday. You think he wanted to play for the Oakland A's?
Of course he did.
He says no. I actually would put them. They're the only team on my contract as a joke. You can't trade me to the A's.
Yeah, dude. Fellas, if you look at the top 100 pitching prospects, there are really not much, and the teams that have them are not a match. And there's an article in the paper today from Jeffy Boyd Gordon. Tough pitching market ahead. Nice little article about how difficult it's going to be because there's so many people need pitching.
That's
A
why.
lot of teams need pitching.
That's why you have to be creative. Say it again. And you got to have a third party. You got to have a three-way deal as a potential, because your path has to lead you to starting pitching.
Yep. Pitching. Arenado hits his first walk-off for the Cardinals last night, and the Battlehawks are being talked about. He doesn't deserve this. John Boy in Indiana. You want to play that clip real quick?
I agree. That's your fault, Cam. You're swearing. You're not properly giving Arenado his credit. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's been a while. How about one right here? One ball.
Good call.
No.
Swing drive. Deep left field. That ball is gone. He can jog home.
Time to bounce, as they used to say. Wow, he smashed that.
Can we hear the crack of the bat and compare it to Ohtani?
Yes.
Sure.
Well, it's been a while. How about one right here? One ball.
I don't have Ohtani pulled up.
No
Strike, swing drive. Deep left field.
Almost.
That ball is
Almost.
gone.
Where's Ohtani?
That's fine. Yeah, there it is.
What Jimmy Ballgame say in the middle of that?
Can we play that again, please?
One more time.
Time to bounce.
Wow, he smashed that.
No, right after
Before
the hit.
that. Before that.
Jog home.
Waiting
Time
for
to bounce, as they used to say.
Yeah, time to bounce.
Oh, okay. That wasn't bad.
Bounce up and down, baby.
Time to bounce, baby.
I like what Arenado said,
that
too.
just shows
He's
what I
a serious dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's a serious dude.
I like him.
And he said, when I talked to him on the field, he said, well, we're playing looser now. Playing looser. And he said it in the clubhouse afterwards, he said, look, we're out. We have a lot of games to make up, and so I'm not even looking at that. They won 4 in a row. They got a little run going. They're playing better baseball. They're getting good starting pitching, which is the key. Of course, some of those good starts are from guys who are going to be possibly gone at the trade deadline. So if you're looking for a run and these guys aren't there, it's going to be a little tougher. But he's like a realist. He's like, I don't even look how many games. We're out a lot of games. Look, we're playing looser. We ignore the record and just try to play hard.
Charlie thinks this red hot August is coming.
Hold on. I'm with you, Cole. I always root for radio. I root for awkwardness. I do always want our teams to win. No, I do. I always want the Cardinals to win. It's more fun. I mean, you don't want to watch playoff baseball? Come on. I always want the Cardinals in the playoffs. But now that they said they're going to sell, I actually want them to win 10 straight. Just to make it awkward.
Okay, chaos.
Well, I just want to see what happens. I still think, look, you can joke about it. It's mid-July. You have another 6 weeks of hot summer days where the ball starts flying at Busch Stadium. It's not going to surprise me, even if they do this little sell-off. I'm telling you, the Cardinals are going to sniff. They're going to sniff 5 games out at some point.
I don't think
They will. They'll sniff it.
It's not a crazy take because it's the Central. I don't believe the Brewers are going to keep winning without having a down period from here on out. And if the Reds suddenly get hot again, I don't think it's sustainable. So I think you're in the perfect division to put together a run and get within, shouting distance?
I'm just saying they're going to sniff about 5. It
Is
could
it
be the
sniffing
Central.
distance? Which is better, sniffing distance or shouting distance?
I like a sniff.
Sniffing's way closer.
Sniffing's way closer.
If you get to 6,
you're a bloodhound.
If you get to 6 games, you're starting to sniff.
When is shouting?
6. We're probably within shouting distance. If we're talking about
You
on the
said
radio.
sniffing is closer, so shouting is off in the distance.
Yeah,
Depends on where you're at.
If I can hear you from way over there, I can't smell you.
All right.
If I can smell you, there's a problem.
Dang right.
All right. So 5 games by when? We got to set a date. We got to make a declaration.
Can I look at their schedule over the next 10 days?
Let's go through the whole schedule.
Where's Douglas?
Why don't we take a break?
Then they take
Wanna take a
all
break?
the
Yeah,
yeah, let's take a
Chicago
break.
Cubs. By the way, Cubs come to town. There's a nice giveaway.
Oh, yeah.